Hello, welcome to Forest Focus. Nottingham Forest have got their man when it comes to signing a goalkeeper, as Matz Sels is poised to join on transfer deadline day from Strasbourg. A quick video to tell you a little bit about him and what we can expect, and also a roundup of the other transfer news on deadline day thus far. I'm recording this just after 2 p.m. On deadline day, as I say. So let's have a little discussion about Matz Sels, as Forest have had a pretty chaotic search for a goalkeeper in the last couple of days, linked with, among others, Sam Johnston, Sels. There's some talk they went in for Aaron Ramsdale and Kelleher, Comin, if I'm saying it right, Kelleher, Liverpool, and also Wolfsburg goalkeeper, and Rui Silva at Real Betis. So it speaks to the kind of chaotic nature of the final few days, trying to find a replacement for Matt Turner, such has been Turner's performances. So we'll discuss Sels and have a look at his stats, see how he stacks up and if he's the answer. And like I say, we'll have a bit of a roundup of other transfer news on deadline day. So Matz Sels, 31-year-old Belgian international. He's been Strasbourg #1 since 2018 and been first choice pretty much everywhere he's been. He's basically been Belgian #2 on and off for a while, and last played for them last summer. He's only got 6 caps, but then when you consider that Thibaut Courtois is their first choice, then getting in the team ahead of a keeper of that quality is going to be very tough. So the fact he's a regular in the Belgium international squad speaks well for him. He's now set to join the Reds for about 5 million quid, probably, I guess, on a 3 or 4 year contract, I'd imagine, which obviously give us Matt Turner, Odysseus Flakodimos all on long contracts, which presents a problem that is probably for another day, unless we see one of those go in the next few hours, but that does look unlikely. There's been no talk of that. So a few people might have heard of Matz Sels from a very brief stint at Newcastle where it didn't work out for him. He was brought in as a hot prospect when they got relegated to the Championship. I think he only played a handful of games, less than 10, and then he was shipped off on loan to Anderlecht and then sold to Strasbourg in the summer of 2018. So there's obviously good points about him. It was reported as well when it was John Percy tweeted that he is a player that Nuno's a fan of, which bodes well. So it's not great that Forest have to say that when it comes to their transfers, that the manager likes him, but that's another thing. So yeah, good points. Like I say, established #1, 31's a good age, Belgian regular, so that bodes well. If we take a look at his stats, they're not quite as promising, I guess. A lot of this is this season, but if you look at, this is taken from FBref. If you look at the save percentages, this is sorted by save percentage for this season. You see that Sels is bottom of the pile in the French league, 62% save percentage, and last season that figure was 16th. In the French second tier. Just for some reference, to see Brice Samba is up there 80%. That was about where Brice was last season. Obviously, some good keepers in there. Lafont's very highly rated. Obviously, Donnarumma and a few others. Kasper Schmeichel did quite well in that percentage stakes last season as well for Nice. So not so good for Sels. Obviously, more to goalkeeping than saving shots, though. So this is something taken from WT Analysis on Twitter. Excuse me. You can see that kind of basically Sels he's better on the ball, which I think is the main thing that we're signing him for. He's decent in possession. He's decent as a sweeper, according to WT Analysis. And these stats are taken from Wyscout, which is a respected source. So there's not a huge amount between them, to be honest, which doesn't bode particularly excitingly. But I mean, maybe a fresh change in goal will make us the difference. It'd be pretty hard to have a downgrade on Turner's form. Not saying Turner's an awful keeper, but his form's awful. So maybe a fresh change in goal would work out for them. But in terms of his stats for this season, not great in save percentage, and he's conceded more than his XG. But like I say, he's decent enough on the ball, and he does have positive aspects to him in terms of experience, status in the Belgian squad. So it's not the most, it's a little, I think someone used a word in our WhatsApp chat, underwhelming, which it probably is, but it's probably the nature of the January window. We pulled the rabbit out of the hat last January with Navas in terms of, career and name and mostly form. I think Navas did well. He was, as a January sign, Navas did well. Had to pump a load of money in to get that, but there isn't a huge amount of money there now in terms of Navas's wages. That was not a fee. So this is the deal. Forest have got Matz Sels from Strasbourg. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. Obviously, stats don't tell the full story. They're not the most inspiring, but Forest needed to do something, and they have done something. And now we have to wait and see how they can sort out this goalkeeping department in the longer term. I suppose the question is Sels a long-term answer? And we don't know. It doesn't necessarily look like it here. Whether they can do better in the summer, I don't know. We have to see how he plays in the meantime. Hopefully, he goes out and smashes it and answers any questions. But they're probably going to need to find a new home for one of Turner or Vacodimos now, which is easier said than done. Vacodimos has played for 2 clubs already this season, so I think if anyone goes, it might be Turner. Otherwise, we're sat with 3. I was going to say first choice goalkeepers. 3 senior goalkeepers vying for the shirt. No one's really proved their first choice, sadly, this season, which is why we are where we are. So we'll see how that develops. In terms of other deals that might happen today, Joe Worrall looks likely to go. Sheffield United seems to be leading the race, but Fenerbahce mentioned. Serge Aurier looks like he's going to Turkey, most likely with Galatasaray. I think, was it Fenerbahce have been mentioned as well? In those cases for Worrall and Orel, if they go to Turkey, the deadline there is the 9th of February, so it doesn't have to happen straight away. It can happen later. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold today. Ethan Horvath looks like he's going to go to Cardiff City, which does clean out one of those senior goalkeeper spots. Although, obviously, like when Forest has to rename their 25-man squad, I guess Wayne Hennessy's bumped out of it. So maybe Hennessy could go as well today. I don't know. But getting Horvath off the books to a championship team is probably good business. Divock Origi could go as well to the MLS. Still no word on Nuno Tavares. I know Arsenal would like to sell him to Marseille, but Forest are kind of preventing that happening. So obviously he's our player on loan, so we'll see if that's resolved or if he stays with Forest for the rest of the season. And Orel Mangala is off to Lyon for a loan deal initially for about £10 million fee, and then it says online guaranteed 20 million. At the end of the season, and with a sell-on fee, so it's kind of 30 million plus a few more. So as long as that money genuinely is guaranteed and it does happen, then 30 million to me is good business for a player who only signed at the start of last season. It represents a good profit, and I guess if it funds some good business, then it works out for Forest. But it's a shame to lose a player, like we said on the podcast, who's done well and been a piece of good recruitment. But let's hope this funds some decent work from Forest. Let's hope Sels is part of that over the next few years. Right, it was just a short video on him anyway, and we'll be back tonight at 9 p.m. with the full deadline day drama into the final 2 hours. So 9 p.m. it's myself, Mikey and Ruby Naylor, and we'll see you through till 10 p.m. when Mikey and Ruby will tag out, and then Mark Sutherns and Temps will come in, and we'll break down some more on Sels and other signings as we go along and have a chat about it in much more detail. This is Forest. There's bound to be more drama in the next few hours, but as it stands, just after 2 o'clock, this is what's happening with Matz Sels. So I thought I'd put a video out just to tell you a little bit about him. Make of it what you will, come to your own opinions, and we'll see how he plays, most likely starting at Bournemouth on Sunday. So in the meantime, do join us at 9 p.m. if you can. If you did like this video, do us a favor, hit like and subscribe. And as ever, we're sponsored by the Trent Navigation. Very grateful for their support. We'll have a bigger plug for them a couple of times, I guess, later tonight. But do get down the nav if you can. We're very grateful for the backing they've shown us since we started doing this. Right, have a good few hours, everyone. Hopefully you like this, and we'll have more of this with some wider chat around Forest on deadline day from 9 p.m. all the way through till 11 p.m. Thank you very much.